Now, unless you've been living underneath a rock for the last 12 months, you've probably noticed that everybody and their dog, your aunts, your uncles, your friends, your family, your pets, your enemies, everyone is selling their house. Now, the reason for that is really quite simple. The housing market is going nuts. Home values are going to infinity and beyond, and everyone is trying to capitalize on that by selling their home. And that's why today I'm going to discuss the 10 reasons why you should not sell your home. You heard me correct, should not sell your home. And so make sure to stick around to the end, because by the end of this video, you're gonna know if selling your home is right for you. And well, if you don't own a home, you'll at least have plenty of ammo to use when playing devil's advocate at family get-togethers. So let's jump right into it. All right, so the first reason that you should not sell your house in 2021 is that you're gonna have to buy a house in the same market that you sell your house in. And I'm gonna explain why that can be a bad thing. But first off, you should know that according to the National Association of Realtors, they found that by the end of May 2021, they found that homes had appreciated on average about 23% over the same time last year. So this means that if your house was worth $300,000 last year, it's worth about $360,000, give or take, this year. And if you're like most people, you're not gonna sell your house and then buy the same level of house. Most people want to sell their house and buy a bigger, better, more expensive home. So imagine you had your sights set on a house that was priced at $500,000 in last year's market. That means that that same house today with 20% more appreciation is going to be $600,000, $100,000 more than last year. And this is where it all comes together and why it can be a bad thing to buy a house in the same market that you're selling in. Because even though your home appreciated 20% and you got $60,000 more than it was worth last year, that other house that you're trying to buy also appreciated 20% and is now $100,000 more than it was last year, meaning that you're still paying $40,000 more for the same house even after factoring in the amount that you gained on the sale of your house. So that's why it may not be as lucrative as you may first think to sell your house and buy another one in today's market, because even though you're making quite a bit of money on your house, you're still gonna be overpaying for the next house that you buy, assuming that it's gonna be a bigger, nicer, more expensive home. And the second reason that you should not buy a house in today's market is because there is such low inventory, you may not even find the house that you want or is to your liking. Depending on what area you're living in, some areas are experiencing extreme housing shortages, where the month's supply of inventory is under a month's supply, under 2 months supply, and the national average is somewhere around 2 to 3 months supply, depending on what market report you look at. And that means that if you're very specific and you're very nitpicky about what kind of a house you buy and move into and live in, you may have a really hard time finding that exact house. And if you do, you're probably gonna be overpaying for it, because chances are if you really like it, a lot of other people are gonna like it as well. And to piggyback right off of that, step number 3 is that on average, when you go to buy a new home, you're gonna be competing with 4 other offers. Because on average, sellers are getting 5 offers or more on their home, which is great if you're selling a house, but when you go to buy another house, it's so hard in this market to get your offer accepted, because people are paying cash, people are waiving option periods, people are waiving inspections, and things are just insane right now. So you have to really be prepared to put your best foot forward. Most likely you'll need to offer over asking price, and there's a strong chance the sellers may not fix or repair anything that could be wrong with the house as well. So just know that going forward. Reason number 4 that you should not sell your house is if you're just trying to keep up with the Joneses. And what I mean by that is if you're not really interested in selling your house, but you see your friends, your family, everybody selling their house today, it can be tempting to sell your house because everyone's talking about how much money they made and all of this and all of that. And it's nice to hear that someone made $50,000, $100,000 by selling their house, but people aren't telling you the cost of their realtor fees, the cost of the title fees, the cost of getting a new home, the cost of their new mortgage, and all of these things that are hidden expenses that really eat away at that profit that people think they're making and often will talk about on social media or in conversations with you. So it's really just a bad idea to sell your house just to try and keep up with the Joneses, to try and impress a friend, a family member, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is. And reason number 5 that you should not sell your house in 2021 is if you really like the location, you like the size, everything about it, but maybe it needs some upgrades, some repairs, then go ahead, just do some renovations on the home. Because not only will that keep you in the same house that you already enjoy, but it will also further increase the value of your home. And studies and data show that the longer you stay in the home, the more money you're gonna make and the more it's gonna appreciate over time. So if you like your home, don't think you have to sell to get that new kitchen or that new bathroom that you really want. Go ahead, keep the same home, just do some upgrades. Rehab it, renovate it, and it will be just like you bought a new home. And reason number 6 is something that people don't often think about. These days, people are all excited about the low interest rates that they can get on buying a new house. But a lot of people already capitalized on those interest rates back in 2020 when they fell below 3% for the first time in history. So if you were one of those people who already refinanced their home last year, got that lower payment, got that lower interest rate, it's probably not a really good idea to sell your home right now because you just paid all those fees to refinance, and you should take the time to enjoy that lower rate, enjoy that lower payment before selling your house. What I'm about to share with you is the biggest reason to not sell your house. If you haven't subscribed down below to my YouTube channel, do not sell your house, and I'll tell you why right now. There's articles that show that when you don't subscribe, not a single person will buy your house. It's actually the #1 reason why people don't buy a house, is because you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel down below. There are even first-hand accounts of people's listings being taken off of Zillow for not subscribing. And if you don't believe me, well, that's beside the point. Just believe me. So the question you should be asking yourself is not,
should I subscribe?
But instead you need to ask yourself,
how can I not subscribe when the future of my real estate goals depends on it?
But in all seriousness, guys, here's reason number 7. If your financial situation hasn't changed in the last year or two, or since you bought the current house you're in, you have no good reason to sell your house, because you're either going to be buying a house that's at the same level of the current house that you're in, or you're going to be stretching your budget just that much farther to get a nicer house, and you're just going to end up house poor, and nobody wants to do that. So if you're not making more money, you don't have a better job, your income hasn't increased somehow, don't sell your house. Wait till your income is increased, and then go ahead and sell your house and buy a better one. The 8th reason that you shouldn't sell your house in today's market is that if you don't need a bigger house, you don't need a smaller house, and you're fine with the size that you're currently at, maybe it's just you and your spouse, maybe it's just you and your 3 kids, whatever the situation is, if you haven't outgrown the home, or the home hasn't outgrown you, just keep the same one you're in, because you're probably comfortable in it. It's enough space. You might as well keep living in it because you're already enjoying it, and you won't have to participate in the craziness of buying a house in today's market. All right, these last 2 reasons are 2 of my favorite. And so reason number 9 is that, why would you sell your house and buy another one when you could potentially get a reverse mortgage on your current home, meaning that you'll be pulling out some of your equity. Basically, you'll be pulling out that appreciation over the last year or 2, and then you can take that money and use it as a down payment on another home that you can use as a rental property. You have to run the numbers and crunch them all to make sure it makes sense for your situation. But for some people, it can make a lot of sense to pull out some equity, put it as a down payment on a rental home, and then you start making cash flow and passive income off of that property. And over time, not only will the renters be reducing the amount you owe on that rental property, but your primary home value will be appreciating, as well as your rental home's value will also be appreciating, meaning that you're doubling your exposure to the market, and you have 2 houses appreciating versus 1. And if you know the saying, 2 is always better than 1. All right, and the 10th and final reason that you should not sell your house in 2021 is that by not selling your house and keeping your expenses low and not increasing your mortgage, you can take that extra money that you would be spending on that mortgage on that newer, nicer, more expensive house, and you can use that to invest in the stock market, invest in other real estate, invest in cryptocurrency, invest in a new side business or primary business that you've always wanted to give a go and try out, but you've just never had the funds. You can use that money, that extra money, to do any of those things. So when you're thinking about selling your house, really think about how else could we use this money to invest in our future and provide a stable, passive income. So that's it, guys. Those are the 10 reasons why you should not sell your house. If you have any comments, I would love to get your opinion down below, and also it super helps with the YouTube algorithm, helping recommend my channel to others just like you. So please leave a comment down below. I'll make sure to reply. Remember to like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.